Louisville, home of the best scrapper, also home of the best rapper. Flow dapper, here's another chapter. Ride through, attack you, ride away your laughter. This is what I'm after, blowing on that rapper. Purple Dro, keep a bunch to blow. I don't serve it though, murder flow. If it goes down, I'm the first to know. Y'all niggas late, like the Conan show. Overdose, overload, sharp flow, leave him with the open throat. Lewis Keys, cool as Nova Scotia snow. Puff a blunt, poke a hole, nigga, you supposed to know. Lewis Keys, blowing blunts on the open road. Fuck a cop, fuck a speed limit, drive overdose. Keep a bad bitch, hips wide like Oprah's nose. And you know that I'm a fool, my freestyle's wet, I'm floating in the pool. You should pay your tuition, you're going to my school. Principal keys, you niggas getting held back. Fuck them little sacks, you can have your bread back. No refund, well here the G's come. Hit your ass up, leave you with your fucking head crack.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. That's where I'm from, player, how about you? I'm from the city where the haters familiar. I'm from the city where the haters will kill ya. I'm from the city where they like to gamble. Dice game, get robbed, niggas to scramble. Head for the hills, nigga, duck and dive. No bullshit, no shuck and jive. I know a lot of guys got shot and died. A lot of good guys didn't see 25. Recognize it's a blessing being alive. Heading to the park, I'm on the passenger side. Like
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Every night's game 7. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like game 7. Game 7. Every day the Super Bowl. Every night's game 7. We ballin' like the playoffs.
I walk in with my homie. Walk out with your baby mama's home key. I can tell she want it. Fat booty, so you know a nigga own it. I'm such a OG. Last time I checked, my verses were for OZ. In the street. Plus I got caught up with the beats. And I'm still spitting that heat. KY is in for a treat. The club looking for a freak. Hope they don't call the police.
Every day the Super Bowl.
Every day's a Super Bowl.
Every night's game 7. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like game 7. Game 7. Every day the Super Bowl.
Bills
bills to pay. And the whole team pop up, cause she got bills to pay. Stealing out the other strippers' lockers, cause she got bills to pay. 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 Plug don't give a fuck if I got bills to pay. Judge don't give a fuck if I got bills to pay.
Keys.
Give it to me one more time.
Okay, you know my situation. You know I got a lot of niggas hating. A lot of niggas waiting to replace me. A lot of chickens chasing. They wanna taste it. I tell them face it. You other bitches basic compared to my lady. That sex game crazy. Brain on lunatic. I ain't even doing shit. Chillin' with my niggas rolling up, getting blown. She hit my phone like, baby, come home. I'm coming now, I'll come again later. And you come in between, how you fit it in them jeans. Everybody so mean, but the smell so nice. Flow so mean, but the style so tight.
Oh my. Make me feel so right. Come and stay the night. And give it to me one more time.
Okay, I'm too high for words, too fly for birds. Tell them other pigeons, get to rock kicking. You not listening, baby, stop tripping. They ain't on your level. What part of that are you missing? Look, I just wanna put the cuffs on you. Take you to the room, put the cuffs on you. I just wanna lick on you, touch on you. Keep talking that shit and I'ma bust on you. You know I got it like that though. Take her to the movies, they go down in the back row. Shitting on them bitches, why you clown them like that for? She know she got it like that, so that's my baby.
Oh my. Make me feel so right. Come and stay the night. And give it to me one more time. Oh yeah.
They ain't fucking with me. They ain't fucking with me. They ain't fucking with me.
What's cracking? What's good, everybody? What's good? We back for another one. Check and make sure everything is good real fast. Make sure the volume and stuff is working. And we'll get started here, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I think the audio's working. Hold on. Yeah, we good. Make sure I ain't had no reverb like yesterday. I don't know. When you set this little system up, man, it's got a mind of its own. So you got to go in and do certain stuff to get it to work the way you want it to work. New news came out today, man, surrounding this fight. Didn't mean to make y'all wait so long, man. But, you know, testing out a lot of new stuff, trying to bring more interactivity to the live streams. Trying to make it a little more interactive, you feel me? But a lot of new news dropped today, man. I tried to get tried to get a video done, a stream done yesterday. Got a little bit into it and didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, man. Everybody drop me a comment. Let me know y'all can hear me all right. Make sure the audio is actually good. Because there's no way to check it from my end until I go live. So, drop me a comment. Hit that like button for me. Let me know everything's straight so I can go ahead and get started. But I tried to go live yesterday, man. Tried to do it once. Audio was messed up. Tried to do the second time. Got a few texts. Had to go take care of some stuff. So, it is what it is. But, new news dropping today, man. Regarding Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford and the negotiations. Yeah, what's up, Pac? Hit the like, man. I'm not late. Now, you good today? What I'm going to start doing that little intro, man. Is the sound good? You're not getting too much of a reverb? It should be a little reverb because you can't turn it off on the program I use. So it's going to be a little bit of reverb, but I hope it's not as bad as it was yesterday. But yeah, y'all, like Pac said, man, hit that like button for me, man. And drop a comment, man. Let us know you're in here. Pacquiao that like button so we can get shared out to more people. But new news dropped today regarding Pacquiao versus Crawford, the negotiations. You know, Bob Arum had a lot to say. There's several different articles that came out today. I don't know if everybody caught those articles. If you didn't, I'm going to run through them before we get into the chat and see what everybody's talking about for the day. But the first article I wanted to touch on came from Boxing News 24. And their article is called Bob Arum Says Pacquiao versus Crawford Possible Overseas with New Site Fee. So I believe what the site fee is there are, I'm guessing, a group of investors that they have a venue in mind, they have a date in mind, and they're willing to put up the money. It's just up to Bob Arum, Crawford, Pacquiao, MP Promotions, you know, Paradigm, and PBC Boxing to all agree. There's a lot of people that have to agree. I'm pretty sure everybody, because, you know, Pacquiao's really the one who has multiple companies backing him, which is very good for him because it's not just MP Promotions or Paradigm or PBC that's backing him. You know, whoever their backers are and whoever the Pacquiao backers are, whoever the Paradigm backers are, they're all behind Pacquiao. Oops, dropped my phone. My bad, hold on. They're all behind Pacquiao and trying to put this fight on. So I feel like in a lot of ways it's going to happen. You know, the money's there. It's just up to everybody to agree upon the terms. So let me get into this article real fast, man. Bob Arum says a new site fee possibility emerged to stage a mega fight between Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao overseas. And he says if it's going to happen, he'll find out this week. So we will know by the end of the week. If you're wondering whether Manny Pacquiao will be fighting Bud Crawford or moving on to possibly take on Earl Spence, Yordanius, you guys, Mikey Garcia, Ryan Garcia, Danny Garcia, Taco Garcia, Lamb Chop, Sean Porter, and countless other names that he could possibly be matching up against. But we will at least know by the end of the week if it's going to be Terence Crawford that he's going up against, and if the terms of whatever Bob Arum can come up with as far as this new site fee that has popped up is all correct and everybody's agreeing upon it. So let me get a little deeper into the article. If not, Arum says he'll look to put together a match between Crawford and #1 WBO contender. But they didn't put that in there, but that's what they meant. Sean Porter, who's been pushing hard for the fight. Using Porter for Crawford would be the equivalent of Arum hitting the red nuclear button. it would likely end with Crawford getting roughed up and stopped by Porter. Wow, who else agrees with that? I mean, it surprises me how many people feel like Terence Crawford is kind of like a pushover in a way, for lack of a better word. But that a lot of people feel like Crawford is gonna lose once he faces up against caliber opponents. Like if he goes up against Pacquiao, a lot of people feel like he's gonna lose that fight. If he goes up against Spence, a lot of people feel like he's gonna lose. Even they're saying if he goes up against Porter, that he'll probably lose that fight, which is surprising to me that Boxing News 24/7 is saying that. They usually give Crawford a lot of credit, but it goes to show you a lot of people are seeing the same thing, which is Crawford's resume is kind of padded. I won't say padded. It's not up to par at welterweight. Put it that way. Because he got some good wins at the lower weights, but when it comes to welterweight, he doesn't really have that one victory he can hang his hat on and say, yeah, this is what cements me as one of the best welterweights. He does have a belt that he got from Jeff Horn. He has beaten Kell Brook recently. He did beat let's see who he beat. Kell Brook. He beat Jeff Horn. It's one other name that I can't really remember because the name is not that notable, to be honest with you. So it surprises me a little bit. The Boxing News 24/7 is saying this about Crawford, but this is something that has been that a lot of people in the boxing world feel like is true about Crawford. So let's move on. According to Arum, he has a tremendous site fee that he's exploring for the Pacquiao-Crawford fight. Whether it is real or whether it's a real offer or is something he'll find out this week. So, like I said, reiterating whether this is all something that's just being talked about or whether this is something that's real will be the news will be coming out at the end of this week. So we don't have to continue to wait to find out if this fight is going to happen. We're going to know by the end of the week. For the average hardcore boxing fan, they prefer to see Crawford fight Porter or Earl Spence Jr. as they both are younger fighters. And I totally disagree with that. I don't think, I agree with the Earl Spence Jr. part. I think a lot of people want to see Crawford fight Spence Jr., but at the same time, I think there would be just as much interest in Crawford fighting Pacquiao or Spence fighting Pacquiao as there would be in those two guys fighting each other. I definitely don't think that the interest is there for Crawford to fight Porter as more than there is for Crawford to fight Pacquiao. So I totally disagree with that point, but this is all according to Boxing News 24/7. It's not as interesting for many fans to see Crawford fighting the 42-year-old Pacquiao, who isn't in his prime any longer, and he hasn't fought in 2 years since 2019. The site fee that Arum is talking about for the Pacquiao versus Crawford fight would potentially make it well worth it for them to go in that direction if it's a real offer and not a mirage. So I know a lot of people feel like, hey, I believe it when I see it because this fight has been talked about in the past. I think in the past it just couldn't be made due to Pacquiao leaving Top Rank and Bob Arum not being willing to risk his cash cow basically with his old cash cow, and I just don't feel like everything lined up at that point for the fight to happen. I think now it's a better shot. It's a better shot of it happening because Crawford needs a fight, Pacquiao needs a fight. What's going on in the world is calling for good fights, and if they can make a good fight, I think people will tune in. I do feel like this is a good fight. I don't feel like I don't feel like Pacquiao's as washed up as people want to believe he is. You know, his last 3 or 4 fights, he basically demolished his opponents. You know, he made short work of Keith Thurman, jumping up really quick in the scorecards when he scored that knockdown against Thurman. Looked really good against Matisse. Looked great against Broner. Looked good against Vargas. So I don't feel like they can base, you know, Pacquiao's age off his. They can't base his performance off his age, because he's been 40 for 2 years now, and he would have had 2 fights over the age of 40, one at 40 and then one at 42. I think he fought Broner at 40 turning 41, and then he fought Keith Thurman at 41 turning 42. So, you know, he's had 2 fights over the age of 40, and he won both of them decisively. There wasn't no. It's not like he went in there and got a gift decision, like some of the people saying that the Broner fight was a gift decision. So I don't understand why they even saying that Pacquiao at 42 is not an interesting fight for Crawford or for fight fans. It's hard to imagine a country overseas getting excited about seeing Pacquiao fight Crawford. A far better fight would be Pacquiao to face Errol Spence Jr. because he would be taking on a pay-per-view fighter. I don't agree with that either. I don't understand why. Look, I do feel like Pacquiao Spence would sell better on pay-per-view, but I feel like Pacquiao Crawford has a lot more fanfare. Fanfare doesn't always equal to pay-per-view buys, but I think there's a lot. Crawford has a loyal fan base, so I feel like his fan base would tune in to any fight that he has, and I think, you know, that helps to sell that fight. I think his fan base is going to help sell that fight. I think Errol Spence Jr. versus Pacquiao is a little bit easier to sell and would probably do a little better on pay-per-view buys, but I don't feel like there's less interest in either one of those fights. I think fans would be interested in watching Pacquiao fight either one of these guys if the fight can be made. Crawford has brought in poor pay-per-view numbers when he's attempted to fight on pay-per-view in the past. Crawford, Pacquiao possible overseas. Kenny Porter, came to our office 2 weeks ago to talk about Crawford-Porter fight, and then out of nowhere, the idea of a tremendous site fee, a possibility of doing Pacquiao-Crawford came up, said Bob Arum to Barbershop Conversation. You know, I heard a lot about this Barbershop Conversation. I've never checked it out, but I'm probably I might check it out after this video. Obviously, it's more money for Terence. Terence would prefer a Pacquiao fight than anyone else. Yeah, we're going to see what happens, and we'll know this week whether Pacquiao Crawford can happen. If it doesn't happen, since Errol Spence clearly doesn't want to fight Crawford, I think Crawford Porter would be a tremendous fight. Yeah, come on, said when asked if Spence doesn't want to fight Crawford, Crawford wants to fight Spence, but Spence has said loud and clear he doesn't want to fight Crawford, said which I think that's a complete lie. You know, I think that's a fabrication. Spence has never come out and said, hey, I don't want to fight Terence Crawford. He offered a certain amount of money for the fight, and Crawford doesn't want to agree to the purse split. So if we're going to be completely factual and honest, no, Errol Spence Jr. never said, I don't want to fight Terence Crawford. He just said simply, I want the majority of the money to fight Terence Crawford. And I kind of agree with him because of the risk in the fight if he loses. So, you know, I can't agree with what Bob Arum is saying there. You know, Bob Arum's good at twisting words. It would be outstanding if Pacquiao versus Crawford overseas site fee offer turns out. Hold on, I lost myself. Turns out to be real. To be the real McCoy. Arum has been talking about wanting to make the fight between Pacquiao and Crawford for eons, and it's a I don't know what they're trying to say here. Let's skip on. Fans are jaded when it comes to Arum talking about the Pacquiao versus Crawford fight. Between it's going on too long, people have gotten their hopes up too many times and nothing has happened. Arum needs to come up with some new ideas for opponents for Crawford. How about putting Crawford versus Porter together already? That's the fight that Arum can make if he wants to. However, I can't blame Arum for dragging his feet on making the match between them, because Porter is all wrong for Crawford. We could see Porter do to Crawford what Oscar Valdez did to Miguel Bertrell last Saturday. And you know, I didn't get to watch that fight. I think a lot of people watched that fight over the Broner fight, but I watched the Broner fight. And it was a local basketball game I was trying to catch, so I watched that too. But as far as Pacquiao Crawford goes, man, I feel like this is going to happen. I feel like the money's already there, and they would be foolish to turn this down if Bob Arum, what Bob Arum is saying is true. Let me check the chat real quick. PAC says it's possible AJ versus Fury and PAC versus Bud, one pay-per-view. That would be. I talked about that a couple of streams ago. If they made some, because Al Heyman and PBC were saying they were putting together a mega event with Pacquiao's name headlining. So I was thinking maybe they were putting together a multi-headlining event, you know, with not just one headlining fight, where you have two headlining fights. You know, I don't think that's ever been done in the sport of boxing. Basically, probably because of the money that you would have to have involved in putting something like that together. But that would be really interesting if they could put something like that together. You know, a heavyweight headliner and then a middleweight headliner would be very interesting. I think you would get millions of pay-per-view buys off that. If you put an AJ Fury and a Pacquiao Bud together, you might do 5-6 million pay-per-view buys off of that. You know, it's very possible, but it would take a lot of initial investment money to get that, you know, to happen. Kabaya says, where do you think this site Bob is talking about? Probably Qatar, because I think that's where they were trying to put it at first. They're talking about Dubai is not going to be open. I haven't heard anything about Qatar at this point, but I would think that he's talking about Qatar. I would definitely say it's overseas. But what about the Philippines? You know, could it be possible that Pacquiao has some investors in the Philippines willing to put on this fight? You know, it would be interesting if that's where they're somewhere in Asia. If they were trying to put it on somewhere in Asia. It would be really interesting. And then I think not only would the fanfare be there, but the pay-per-view buys and the gate would do wonderful, you know, if they could put that on somewhere in Asia. Chef Carl says, PAC, that would be awesome, but that would be way too much money to come up with for that one card. But maybe Herring versus Frampton would be a co-main to either event. It's harder to Dubai to, I hear. It's headed to Dubai. Okay, my bad. It's headed to Dubai, I heard. Dubai, Qatar, I could see, you know, somewhere in the Middle East. It happening somewhere in the Middle East, but it would be interesting if somebody in Asia, one of the countries in Asia, made a play for the fight. You know, I think that would be it would be huge for the Pacquiao fan base. I think it would do really well as far as the gate goes, and you know, just putting people in the actual facility, getting people to buy tickets. I think it would do well in Asia, you know, or in the Philippines. Anywhere closer to the Philippines, it would do tremendous. But I don't know how open the Philippines actually are right now compared to the rest of the world or the Middle East, or if there's even that type of money to be thrown around in the Philippines. I know in Asia, there's probably that type of money that can be thrown around, but I'm not sure just directly if they try to do it in the Philippines, if there's enough investors with that type of money to put the fight on. Because we've never seen interestingly enough, as long as Pacquiao's been fighting, I don't think he's ever fought in the Philippines since he's become like really famous. He might have fought in the Philippines when he was an amateur or coming up in the ranks, but I don't know if he's recently had a fight for big money against a superstar opponent in the Philippines. 100 million, I'm pretty sure that's what it stands for, 100M. Can't wait to see the fight. Fire. This is it. Fire. Appreciate you, 100M, man, for coming through. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I definitely will go check out your channel once I get off here, man. If you have videos up there, so I will. Everybody go check out 100M, man. Appreciate you dropping through. PAC, Chef Carl, it won't be because DAZN, ESPN, Fox has tons people who will watch. You know, it would be interesting for them to put on something that is multi-promotional with maybe DAZN and ESPN or DAZN and Fox, as well as Paradigm and, MP Promotion or Top Rank in there. You know, if you put 3 or 4 different companies together, I think they could come up with the money and they would have the fan base to back the fight. So would be interesting. Would it happen for this fight? I don't think so. Maybe for the last fight if Pacquiao can get through this fight, maybe for the last fight of his career, we could potentially get something like that. But I don't see it for this fight just because they're having already so much trouble trying to get the fight together. You know, it shouldn't have taken. It's almost been a month since they announced the initial news that Pacquiao was going after Terence Crawford, and we still haven't heard anything yet. So I think it would be even more difficult for them to add another 2 superstar names to this and the dollar signs to match up. Let's move on here. 100M, who you got? Who gonna win this fight? Personally, I think right now I feel like Pacquiao has what it takes to beat Crawford. I feel like based off, if you just base it solely off his last performance, haven't seen Pacquiao in a year and a half as far as in a ring, but if you base it off his last performance, what he did versus Keith Thurman, you would have to say Pacquiao has a great shot of winning or beating Terence Crawford based off of that performance. I think a lot of people at that time had Thurman beating Crawford and maybe Spence Jr. if they matched up, 2 years ago. So if Pacquiao was able to beat who a lot of people felt like, a lot of people felt like Keith Thurman was the best guy out there at the time. I feel like, Pacquiao has a great shot of winning. Stream's messing up a little bit, but if you need me to repeat what I just said, I said that if you base it off of Pacquiao and what he did a year ago versus Keith Thurman, a lot of people had Thurman as the top welterweight of a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And if they had him beating Crawford or Spence Jr. and Pacquiao took him down, I don't understand why people wouldn't believe that Pacquiao could beat Spence Jr. or Terence Bud Crawford. Having a little trouble with the stream, so if it's messing up a little bit, man, just give it a few seconds to buffer out. Got 26 people in the chat right now, man. If y'all could take time out, Pacquiao the like button. Drop me a comment, let me know y'all in here, man. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you're a Crawford fan, well, Crawford the like button. You know, if you're a Earl Spence fan, you know, headbutt it, elbow it, whatever to let me know y'all in here, man. And drop me a comment so I can shout your name out. Don't know how long I'm going to be on here today, but definitely want to acknowledge everybody who came into the chat. All right, let me move on. So, based off that, I would have Pacquiao winning that fight, man. Just based off his last performance versus Keith Thurman. 100 million. There's a negotiation between the two fighters. You saying that the negotiation is between Pacquiao and Crawford and not, Paradigm and Bob Arum? Let me know what you mean by that. Prince versus King. I could agree with that. I feel like it's like a 1 versus 2 matchup. I would only give Pacquiao the one spot because of his longevity in the sport and what he's done in the sport. Then you would have to give Crawford the number 2 spot, in this particular fight. If it was Pacquiao versus Spence, I would have to give Spence the number 1 spot, Pacquiao the number 2 spot. Even though Pacquiao has a better resume and he's a better fighter, based off of what he's done in the sport, Spence has all those belts. He's kind of the number 1 welterweight right now, so I would base it off of that. Chef says Bob needs to get Bud quality fights if he expects pay-per-views to sell well, and also needs to do what he is paid to do and promote the fights more than a week of the fight. Interesting, man. Bob Arum's from a different era of boxing, so he's used to doing stuff a certain way. He's getting older, so I don't feel like Bob Arum's even out here promoting fights for guys anymore. I'm pretty sure he has some type of team taking care of everything surrounding the fight for him. So things might not get done exactly how Arum wants, and I think that's what makes him mad a lot of the times. And to the fact that he's not actually running the whole show day to day. He might still be, approving fights and telling them, hey, this is what I want to happen. This is what I'm willing to pay for. But I'm pretty sure he's not out there negotiating day to day anymore. PAC says 3 big fan bases: Asian, Pacquiao, AJ, and Fury, European, Bud in the U.S. It would be amazing to put it together. I think it would sell extremely well. They would do tremendous numbers, but it's gonna take a lot of money and to make that happen. And somebody's gonna get the short end of the stick as far as one of those promotional companies, as far as the money goes. So it would be really hard to put together, especially dealing with those big of names. Maybe if the names wasn't so big, it would be different. But Pacquiao's gonna command that 30-40 million, off top. I feel like AJ and Fury are gonna want like 30, somewhere in the 30 million range. Bud's gonna want his 10 million. You're talking about $100 million just for the fighters. Over $100 million just for the fighters. So would be extremely difficult. And who's gonna get the short end of the stick? Rodolfo Lopez, what's good, bro? Appreciate you for coming through, man. What's the new news? Well, basically that Bob Arum says he has a new site fee in the somewhere overseas. He's not announcing just yet where that's at, but he did announce that he would drop the news of whether the fight will happen this week. He's going to find out if the site fee is real. Basically, what a site fee I think is I guess someone's willing to invest in the fight. They have a venue and a date already picked out and a pool of money They're just waiting for Bob Arum, Paradigm, MP Promotions, and PBC to all agree upon the terms. But Bob Arum has come out and said that the site fee is real. He's looking into it, and he would have a final decision by the end of the week. So that's the new news. We will know if this fight is happening by the end of the week, according to Bob Arum of Top Rank Boxing. So if you believe what Bob Arum says, then you believe that we will know if Pacquiao Crawford is going to happen before the week is out. Whether it is or isn't going to happen, we don't know where the site is. He didn't mention that, what the fees, and he said a huge site fee. So it could be even more than what Pacquiao was asking for as far as the $40 million. It could be even more than what Crawford was asking for as far as the $10 million. So it could actually turn out to be more lucrative for both guys, based on what Bob Arum is saying about this. What he says is let me make sure, a possible overseas site fee with a huge site fee. So these are words coming from Bob Arum, not from me. Mickey Murray, what's up, Red? Respect to Mickey Murray. Shouts out to you, big bro. Appreciate you for coming through. Hope you're subscribed. If you're not, please subscribe to the channel, bro. Hit that like button for me. If you have content on your channel, because I'm not used to seeing your icon or your channel name, I definitely will go check you out, big bro. Necessary, what's good, Necessary, man? Appreciate you for stopping through, bro. Shalom, bro. Red, shalom. What up, Aki? What's good, What would you say if Pacquiao washed Crawford? Do you think all the other YouTubers, including other top boxers, would finally recognize Pacquiao? Just like if Crawford beat Pacquiao, and a lot of people think that fans won't acknowledge Crawford still. I think that there's so much Pacquiao hate out there, and there's so many people and promotional companies that want Pacquiao to go away so boxing can move into the new era. I don't think that they would recognize him. I think that there would be a plethora of excuses that come up. If it happens in Asia, they'll say it was a shady decision if it came down to a decision. If it happened in Asia and he knocks him out, they would say that Pacquiao's on steroids. The steroid talk would go through the roof. If it happens in Qatar, I think the same thing would happen. If it happened in the U.S. and he beat him, I think there would be less controversial talk. But if it does happen overseas, which is looking like it's going to happen, I think and Pacquiao knocks him out or beats him on the scorecards, there's going to be a lot of steroid talk, and then there's going to be a lot of shady talk coming from the other side. As far as I think coming from either side, if Pacquiao gets beat, listen, a lot of people are not going to accept the fact that he just got beat. It's just how it is. They're going to want him to jump right back into the ring, fight again, and make a comeback. You know, me personally, if Crawford knocks him out, I don't want to see Pacquiao jump right back into anything. I'm not saying I don't want to see him fight again. I just think it would behoove him to take a little time, maybe take a lesser opponent next, and then still try to pursue. If he can get that you guys fight, if Crawford beat him Burley, you know, maybe by a half a point or a point, but it was a great fight. I would hope that Pacquiao goes after you guys and tries to get that belt from you guys so he can put himself right back into the championship talks of a unification. Because I think if Crawford beats him and doesn't knock him out, but just beats him barely on points, people would still be curious to see Pacquiao face off with another opponent. And Pacquiao said he would fight twice, so we could possibly get him a you guys fight, you know, later on in the year. But I think if Crawford knocks him out, you're gonna see a lot of Pacquiao fans and a lot of Fairweather Pacquiao fans not accept that maybe it's time for Pacquiao to walk away. On the other hand, I think if Pacquiao knocks out Crawford or beats him barely by points, you're going to see the complete opposite. You're going to see the same thing happen, but with Crawford fans. They're not going to accept the fact that Pacquiao beat him. They're going to say Pacquiao got a gimme decision if it comes down to points, and they're going to say Pacquiao's on steroids if he knocks him out. It's just, a sign of the times and how fans act nowadays. I'm not saying it's right, but it's just how it is. As one of the real top fighters of all time and even now, Jay Dubber, look at all the PAC haters scamming for him to drop his WBA belt. Screaming for him to drop his WBA belt. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody wanted him out of the way. So basically, Earl Spence or Crawford can claim that prize, and it makes it look them a little bit more legit. But to me, whoever has that belt up after Pacquiao is really not legitimate because they didn't beat Pacquiao to get it. Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman to get that belt. It was a legitimate victory. You can't take nothing away from it. A lot of people had Keith Thurman as the number one welterweight when Pacquiao beat him. So, it wasn't like he fought some second-tier welterweight. Keith Thurman was recognized by a lot of people as the number one guy out there. And Pacquiao beat him decisively to get that belt. So, it kind of just is what it is when it comes to, you got to look at these people like they're not really boxing fans. They're fair weather fans. They're only here because they like Earl Spence's personality or they like Terence Crawford's personality. They're not really going off of boxing statistics or really how you should judge a boxing champion. They're going off of how much they like their favorite fighter. And I think I'm not going to say they don't know anything about boxing, because I think that's a ridiculous statement in itself. To tell anybody who's a fan of a sport you don't know anything about the sport simply because they don't agree with you. But I do feel like a lot of fans of boxing today are not true boxing fans. They're in it either for a name of a boxer, because a boxer is popular, or because a boxer attached themselves to a certain rapper, and they like that certain rapper, so they're a fan of that boxer because of that rapper, not even because of the boxer's skill level, how great their resume is, how many people they fought, knocked out. It's more based off of popularity. And I think a lot of these people who don't recognize Pacquiao are not boxing fans. They're popularity fans. They're fans of what's popular. Earl Spence and Terence Crawford are popular at the moment, so that's who they going with, and they're not going to go against anything that goes against what's popular, if that makes any sense. Y'all gotta bear with me today, man. I ain't feeling great today. It's just not feeling too great, man. So just bear with me a little bit. I'm gonna try to get through all the news and all the chat, and then I'm gonna get out of here, man. I ain't gonna stay as long as I normally do, but definitely did want to put this news out here for everybody. Let's see. Mickey Murray says Pac-Man definitely A-side versus Crawford, and Bud needs that fight with a win. Bud becomes hands down pound for pound and has more negotiating power against Spence. Definitely, bro. I agree with that 100%. I think this fight does a lot for Terence Crawford's career. If you can't backdoor your way into the Earl Spence fight, or even front door your way into the Earl Spence fight, if you can't front door your way into the Earl Spence fight, which is a straight up 50-50 fight or just taking the 60-40 split, then you can backdoor your way into the Errol Spence fight by beating Manny Pacquiao. Or he doesn't just have to beat Pacquiao, or he could go take on Yordenis Ugas, get that belt for you guys, and then it kind of has the same effect. Not as dramatic as beating Pacquiao, or wouldn't get him as many fans as beating Pacquiao, but it does give him negotiating power because he could say at that point, I'm the other unified champion in the welterweight division. You know, Errol Spence's whole bargaining chip at the moment is that he is the unified champion, which means he holds more belts and holds more leverage than Yordenis Ugas. Used to be Manny Pacquiao, but Yordenis Ugas now and Bud Crawford. So the only thing that Crawford basically could do to me to gain more leverage. Now, he could go fight Sean Porter. I think that would give him a little bit of leverage, but still, I think Spence would still offer him a 60-40. The 60-40 split. You know, I think the Sean Porter fight would do more for fans liking Crawford, you know, if he beat Porter. But I think it wouldn't bring Spence's asking price down. I think the same effect if he beat Thurman, you know, it would do more with the fan base than it would do with bringing Spence's asking price down. Now, if he beat Pacquiao, I think it would do. It would then turn that fight into more of a 55-45 split. You know, he would still want the bigger slice of the pie. I think he would still want 55%. But I think Crawford could gain an extra 5% in negotiating power if he beat Pacquiao or you guys, because you guys would make him a unified champion. So that would give him at least another 5%. I think beating Pacquiao would actually take it to a 50-50 fight, but it would depend on how he beat Pacquiao. If he knocked him out, definitely would switch that offer into a 50-50 offer. If he only beat Pacquiao by half a point in a rough victory, then it might only give him a little bit of negotiating power with Crawford. With Spence Jr. Let's move on here. Jay Dubber says the WBA tried emailing Manny the belt back, and Manny marked its. Hey man, I needed that laugh right there. I appreciate that, JD, bro. You know what? You know, Pacquiao could actually still get that belt back. You know, it's so it would actually kind of behoove Crawford to take this fight because you guys is recognized as the super champion, but you guys is still not yet the full champion until the GAB or GBA, the gaming board of the Philippines, until they finish their inquiry to the WBA on whether they're going to reinstate Pacquiao as the super champion or not. You can't actually set in stone that you guys is the fully recognized champion yet. I think this is why that Errol Spence you guys talk kind of fell apart really quickly, is because I don't even think technically you guys can defend that belt until the that whole probe with the GAB is done, or GBA is done. So I'm not sure about that 100%. I gotta look into that a little bit more, but I do know that they have petitioned the WBA to reinstate Pacquiao that belt. So if they do get that belt back, that makes that Crawford fight even bigger, because if Crawford beats him, then he doesn't have to go. He's now the unified champion, you know, if he gets that belt back. Or if Pacquiao beats Crawford, he's now the unified champion. So, you know, either one of those guys stand to gain a lot based off of the WBA's decision of whether they reinstate Pacquiao as the super champions. It's not, none of this as far as that super title is set in stone yet. Pacquiao is still the champion in recess, which means he can actually demand. He can actually petition to have his belt reinstated. He can demand to be the number one contender for that belt and call for a fight with you guys, or they can just reinstate him as the champion. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that situation yet. I haven't seen any new articles regarding that situation yet. But he could very well get that belt back without even fighting you guys, and become the unified champion by beating Terence Crawford. So I think it makes this fight even more interesting, and it might be why Pacquiao is going in the direction of Crawford anyway. He might know, like I keep saying, there obviously there's stuff going on behind the scenes. We as fans and commentators of boxing are not privy to. I'm pretty sure there are some people, some channels out there that have this information already, that they just can't share it, that are closer to Team Pacquiao, or closer to PBC Boxing, or are closer to Top Rank and Paradigm, who have affiliates that or might be affiliates of either any of those people or companies that are privy to information I'm not privy to. So someone out there, some channels out there probably already know where the WBA is going to go with this decision, as far as, are they going to reinstate Pacquiao, or are they going to actually give you guys that belt? More than I know at this point. I don't have any connections to Team Pacquiao, to PBC, to Paradigm, or any of these fighters. So I have to research information to bring y'all. I can't just be handed information, unfortunately. But I do know that they have petitioned to have that belt reinstated. So it makes this Crawford fight that much more interesting. I think people are forgetting about that WBA super title, and they're thinking that Pacquiao has just been completely stripped of that title. That's not how it works. That's why they placed him as the champion in recess. They still have to go through a process of making Jordanius you guys the full champion, and fully stripping Manny Pacquiao of that title. That process isn't over yet. So don't let anybody tell you that process isn't over until you actually hear you guys announce a fight and a defense of that title. Once you've heard that, then you can pretty much set in stone that, okay, they're not going to reinstate Pacquiao. You just move on from that WBA super title situation. I hope that made some sense regarding that. White Tiger, what's good with you, bro? Good to see you again. Fight will happen in Dubai, Crawford versus Pac-Man. The only thing I heard last week, I read an article that the neighboring city to Dubai is having an outbreak of C-19, as Captain Full G puts it, the coronavirus, and that they would not be able to have a full gate if they did it in Dubai. And up until now, I haven't heard anything else new. I'm not sure if Dubai is completely shut down. Didn't check into that yet. But I do know Qatar, which is another, big money place over there in the Middle East. They have big money. Everywhere in the Middle East has oil money. So nowhere in the Middle East is broke and will ever be broke because they have oil money. But as far as places where they can host a fight go, Saudi Arabia is an Islamic state, so I don't think they would do it there. Medina and Mecca are Islamic, Islamic territories, so I don't think they would do it there. Qatar, Dubai, there's one other place over there. I can never remember the name of it. But Qatar, I think, would be the front runner at this point, being what going off of what I heard about what's going on with Dubai and their neighboring country or city, or however you put it, over there. So I would think Qatar would be the front runner. There is another, I believe it's a country. I don't know if they call themselves cities or states. I think they're states over there. So there is another one over. I just can't remember the name of it. And they have, they play with big money in the same way that Qatar Dubai, and play around with money over there. So there's a lot of places it can happen in the Philippines. I mean, in the Middle East. I think it would be very interesting if they could find some investors in the Philippines or somewhere in Asia, close to the Philippines. I think the gate would do ridiculous numbers if they could get it anywhere close to Pacquiao's home country. Let me move on here. J. Dubber, name a fighter that took on bigger risk than Manny. I can't. Who took on bigger risk than Pacquiao? I think Pacquiao's he's one of a kind. You can't even answer that question simply because nobody else has taken. I think other fighters have taken on risk as big as Pacquiao. They didn't win. And you can base that off the fact that he's the only fighter out there to surpass 6 weight classes. He's the only one to have 7 and to make it to 8 weight divisions. So I don't think there is another one out there you can name based off of that fact. He's the only one who has surpassed that 6 weight class. I think there's others who have made it to 6 weight classes. They just didn't make it past 6 weight classes, or they didn't attempt to go past 6 weight classes. So I think you're right about that. There's only one, and that is the great Manny Pacquiao. So I still want to throw this question out there. What if none of these fights come to fruition, and what if we get a surprise super fight, i.e., Maypac 2, i.e., PAC Golovkin, i.e., PAC Canelo, i.e., a fight that people are not talking about, but could be a huge fight, Pacquiao versus one of the Charlos. I think if Pacquiao's going to fight anybody, it's either going to happen at 147 or above. It's not going to happen at 140. I don't think you're going to see Pacquiao go down and wait to fight anybody. So I think if anybody from 140 wanted to come up and fight Pacquiao, they're going to have to come up to 147. I think if Pacquiao doesn't get these fights at 147, i.e. Crawford, Spence, you guys, Porter, then you would see him look past 147 for the biggest money fight he could get past 147. Maybe a Charlo, maybe a Golovkin, maybe a Canelo, one of those names. I think is very, very possible if he can't get these other fights to actually come about. But I do feel like the Crawford fight is going to happen, man. I don't think there's a doubt or in my mind that it's going to happen. I think it's just a when they're going to announce it. At what point this week they're going to announce it. What the dollar signs are going to look like and where they're going to stage it at is the only thing that's being discussed at this moment. BR3, what's good, bro? Seattle, what's cracking? Seattle, straight out of Kentucky, man. Louisville, Kentucky to Seattle, Washington, man. I always want to go out west. To be completely honest, I ain't never been on an airplane in my life. And y'all don't know how old I am, but it's a ridiculous amount of time to I've never been on an airplane. I've never been further than Texas. I went to Texas one time. I do definitely want to get out to the West Coast at least once before I'm no longer on this planet. But we'll have to see if that actually happens. Hopefully it'll be for a fight, man. If Pacquiao, I'll put it this way. If Pacquiao beat Crawford and ends up fighting Spence and it happens in America and they do it out in Vegas or down in Texas, definitely if they do it in Texas, I'm going to go down there and cover that fight. Hopefully, so let's all hope and wish and pray that Pacquiao do beat Terence. This Terence Crawford fight happens. Pacquiao wins. Because I definitely will go down there and I'll cover the Manny Pacquiao fight live and try to get my first and probably only interview with Manny Pacquiao if that actually comes to fruition. It'd be real interesting to actually get to take Ali Land Boxing Talk and Red Room Sports on the road. It would be a heck of an experience for me, man, to say the least. Bond Q, What's good with you, bro? What if Leonard Ellaby slapped Sean? Oh man, y'all be killing me with this stuff, man. What if Leonard Ellaby slapped Sean? I think you would see a pit bull versus a poodle. You'll see a human pit bull rip a human poodle to itty bitty shreds with his bare hands. Be completely honest with you. Okay, Jay Dubber says, what if Manny got caught with an IV the night before? Technically, Mayweather didn't get caught. He was exposed for using the IV, but there's a difference between being caught and being exposed. If he was caught, he would have got sanctioned. They would have took that win from him as far as the Pacquiao win goes. They would have, fined him millions of dollars. His whole career would have been pulled apart. So he didn't get caught. He got exposed. He said he had a therapeutic exemption for it. Pacquiao had a therapeutic exemption for his shoulder shot, which he was not allowed to take. But it is what it is, man. We can't. I'm not gonna say he got caught. I'll say he got exposed. All right. Richard Orlito. Man, I can't say your first name. Orlito, what's good with you, bro? I've tried so many times to pronounce your first name, but I can't get it out. I get tongue tied trying to get it out. Hope PAC will win this. Freddie seems will want to tune up fight for PAC before take the Crawford fight. I think Freddie is right. Any good trainer is gonna want you to test the waters after a long layoff. Any good coach is going to want his team to practice before the biggest game of the year. Nobody wants to stick their team out against another great team without actually practicing the game plan. No coach wants to stick their fighter in the ring without, practicing a game plan. The unfortunate thing for Team Pacquiao and Freddie Roach, is that timing. Timing is bad. If Pacquiao, he either has to do something great now, or he has to go away, and just not be in the sport anymore. So he's trying to go for greatness, and he's trying to do it within a set amount of time. And I feel like he feels he still has the abilities to pull it off. I think Roach is confident in pulling it off. Any good trainer, any good coach is going to want extra time to prepare, but this is what makes greatness. If you can pull stuff like this off with very little time to prepare, it shows just how great you really are. And if Pacquiao pulls it off, it'll show how great he is. If Roach helps him pull it off, well, you can cement Freddie Roach as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, boxing trainer of all times, along with Manny Pacquiao for pulling this off. And if they pull off both of these fights, Freddie Roach is the number one boxing coach. Manny Pacquiao is the number one boxer of all times. There's no doubt in anybody's mind at that point. Catch Money. What's good with you, Catch Money? If it ain't Crawford, who do you think Pacquiao is going to fight? I think it's definitely only between Crawford and Spence. And I think because of the negotiating is so heavy with Crawford right now, Spence is not in the question for the first fight. I think they're trying to build up that Spence fight. They want... Listen, I feel like this. I feel like Pacquiao is extremely confident in beating Crawford based off something he knows from the past of watching Crawford. Maybe these guys have sparred in the past, and it just was never made public. We don't know what went on behind the scenes of Top Rank when both of these guys were on Top Rank. That obviously Pacquiao sees something in that fight is the reason he's pursuing that fight first. and he seems to be extremely confident in winning that fight. And I feel like this. I feel like the Spence fight, I agree with what Boxing News 24 is saying as far as the Spence fight is more sellable. So I think if he pulls off the Crawford fight, it makes the Spence fight that much more bigger. It makes it 10 times bigger than what it would be if they just went ahead and fought right now. Plus, I think they want that, since the Crawford fight is the smaller of the two fights, Crawford can't really sell a pay-per-view. It would be easier to get that fight out of the way now while things are still locked down a little bit in certain places. In certain places, you could probably still have a venue. But if you're going to make a fight now, you might as well make that fight, because 5-6 months from now, things might be completely open. And if he wins, then that means you could put 100,000 people in a stadium for that Spence fight. And believe me, if he beats Crawford and ends up fighting Spence next in the summertime, into the summertime like he's planning on, there will be a stadium with 100,000 people in it for that fight. Believe me when I say that. If he beats Crawford, I'm going to say it one more time, and things open up, the world opens back up completely by the end of the summer, look for that fight to happen in Dallas Cowboy Stadium, and look for that to be between 75 to 100,000 people in that stadium. I will pretty much guarantee that will happen if Pacquiao beats Crawford. And I would say this too. Pacquiao has to be extremely confident in the fact that he's going to beat Crawford. Otherwise, I don't think he would be even pursuing this fight at all. I think he would just go straight for the Errol Spence fight, because it's a bigger fight, it's bigger money involved in it, and why take the risk of fighting Crawford when you can just go fight the bigger of the two names, because you're both on the same under the same promotional banner. So I would only say Pacquiao's pursuing this fight because he is super confident in beating Crawford, and he already has something in mind for that Errol Spence fight in the summertime. So that's coming straight from Cardinal Red, man. That's how I feel about this whole fight. Let me continue on with the chat. What was I at? Okay. Jay Dubber, disagree when Medina whooped Broner. U.S. fans made no excuses. I think those are two different caliber of fighters, though. I think the hate and the jealousy for Pacquiao is so deep that it makes people make foolish statements and decisions when it comes to talking about Pacquiao. So I just, and let me say this, I'm going to save that for the end. I'm going to stay on her a little while longer, because I want to talk about the Broner fight. I was supposed to do that yesterday, but I want to get into that at the end, after I get through all these comments. What if Bob Arum, Al Heyman, and Leonard all slapped Sean? Then you would still see a pit bull kill 3 poodles all at the same time. Basically. Because, even if those 3 guys jumped Sean Porter, they couldn't deal with Sean Porter. Bob Arum would be the first to gas out and probably go visit with the Lord. To be completely honest with you. But that's funny. Let me see. Okay, Caps and Full G. Oh my God, Caps and Full G. I appreciate you always send me a super chat, bro. You don't gotta do that, man. I really, really do appreciate it. It shows me how much you enjoy the channel and enjoy what I do, man. So I really appreciate that, Caps. You don't gotta keep doing that, bro. But hey, I'm not gonna turn it down if you do it, man. USADA allowed Floyd to get away with it. USADA is private. You can buy a private company to look the other way. And I'll repeat that again. Yeah, USADA allowed Floyd to get away with it. USADA is a private company. You can buy a private company to look the other way. That comes straight from Caps and Full G. The big homie, man. Y'all go check out Caps' channel. That's Caps in full G. Subscribe to his channel. He does excellent boxing talk, man. And he's also a supporter of Manny Pacquiao. So y'all go check out Caps, man. Support that brother, man. Help him move his channel forward. He definitely deserves it. Does great content, not just surrounding Pacquiao, but surrounding the whole boxing topic, man. But if you know anything about the Maypac fight, you should know what he means by that. You know, and this is the thing I don't like about boxing. It's not fully, you know, sanctioned, or it's not fully oversighted by one entity or a multitude of entities. You know, there's too much freedom when it comes to the oversight of boxing. There needs to be some type of board or commission that oversees the sports and defines the rules. The rules are not defined in boxing. Depending on what belt you're going after, the rules are different. Depending on what company's putting on the fight, the rules are different. Depending on who you got to do the drug testing, the rules are different. So, and you should know, you know, Floyd Mayweather pretty much put on that Maypac fight. That was pretty much a Mayweather promotion. And anytime you have a fighter who's promoted, which should be a conflict of interest in the sport of boxing, which I don't understand why it's not, but there should be a conflict of interest when it comes to a fighter putting on a fight. A fighter shouldn't be able to put on a fight. It should have to be handled either by a promotional company or a third party. He should be able to invest in his own fight, but he shouldn't be able to put it on, because it makes it too easy for the rules to be set in his favor. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to get too deep into that whole Mayweather topic, because it gets too deep. The steroid talk gets a little too deep. I think I just don't want to get that deep into that topic right now, man. Let's move on. Ain't Live. What's good, Ain't Live? PAC fights once every 2 years nowadays. You know, it's just based off of his schedule, man. I can't really blame Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao, if he wouldn't have lost that Jeff Horn fight in the manner that he did, if he wouldn't have lost that Bradley fight, if he wasn't robbed in the Maypac fight, I think Pacquiao would have already retired. He would have been retired. But I think those sting the soul of Manny Pacquiao so much that he just continues to blaze through the sport, and he's still doing it at a high level. So as long as he's doing it at a high level, I encourage him to continue. I don't want to see him not continue within the sport. So, you know, I salute Pacquiao whenever he fights, man, whether it's once a year, once a decade, once in a lifetime. You know, I've enjoyed the man up to this point so much. I would give him leeway whenever he decided to fight. You know, I'm not going to go against what he wants to do. He's done it all in the sport. He's given me some of the most memorable fights I can think of. So I just not one to go against Pacquiao at this point. What's good though, Ain't Lab, man? I appreciate you for coming through, bro. It's good seeing you. Orlando, do you think Spence before accident can pull off fight against Pacquiao? I think he's still the same fighter before and after the accident, to be completely honest with you. Do I think the accident probably is going to have some type of effect on him in the future, or maybe having some type of a slight effect on him now? I think he's so young that and he's an athlete, man. You know, these people they're not the average human being. If I went flying out of the window of a Lamborghini, I probably wouldn't even survive that. You know, I'm not in the shape that Earl Spence is in. You know, if I did survive, you know, I'm pretty sure it would have some type of lasting effect on my my physical and my mental. I did go through a similar car accident. I didn't fully get ejected from the vehicle, but I got enough of the impact to where, you know, it has had an effect on my life and my capabilities as an athlete, and A lot of things just as far as impacting my life goes. So I know what effect the accident I got into had on my life. So I'm pretty sure that the accident he got into is having some type of effect. But he's young enough, he's durable enough, he's an athlete, so he's strong to where it might not have had as much of an effect on him as it would a normal individual. These are not normal individuals. These are professional athletes who train hard on a daily basis and are in way better shape than the average human being. So, it just all depends. But I do feel like he's the same fighter before and after the accident. I felt like he was slow before the accident. I think he's still slow after the accident. I think the only thing it affected, I think his punching power might have been affected slightly because, he didn't really seem to even hurt Danny Garcia in that fight when they fought. He obviously won the fight, but I never saw a point in that fight where I felt like Danny Garcia was in danger of getting knocked out. Born Lucky, hater pay Floyd bills. Straight up, the haters, the people who hate Pacquiao, they love Floyd Mayweather, man, and vice versa. The people who hate Floyd Mayweather love Manny Pacquiao. So I think haters made both of their careers, basically. It just is what it is, If you hate Mayweather, you probably like Pacquiao. If you hate Pacquiao, you probably like Mayweather. I will say the level of hate toward Pacquiao and the level of disrespect toward Pacquiao is different than from Mayweather fans than it is from Pacquiao fans. I don't think Pacquiao fans are as disrespectful toward Mayweather as Mayweather fans are toward Pacquiao and his fan base. Just put it that way. White Tiger, if Pacquiao caught using steroids, a lot of people in his country will get upset. That's why fans don't believe in that rumor. I don't believe in that rumor at all because he's never been caught. He sued Mayweather and won. He got money off of that lawsuit. He didn't just sue him for principle. He actually won money. So they actually had to do some type of investigating into Pacquiao and his alleged use of steroids for them to know whether he did or didn't. And obviously he didn't because he won the lawsuit. So, I just like to leave the whole steroid talk there. And anytime people bring up Pacquiao steroids, that's what you should tell them. He won the lawsuit, so that should just kill the whole conversation. I don't even like talking about the steroid talk anymore because it's completely false, and he already won the lawsuit. So what is the argument here? There's no argument to be made. He won the lawsuit. There's no argument. I hate that whole conversation. Shouldn't even be brought up. Necessary. That's right, Red. You gotta start letting us subscribed followers get a chance to jump on the phone call line with you so we can discuss the topic in person like you do with Caps. Man, I invite everybody. If y'all wanna, I keep telling y'all, if y'all wanna be a part, I say it in all my videos. I say it in my lives. If y'all wanna be a part, you gotta either go to the community section, leave me a comment, let me know who you are, how I can get in contact with you, or it would be easier if you just go to my community post that says the WhatsApp, join the WhatsApp group, and then we can just, communicate through the WhatsApp. Or the third easy method would be to go to my channel, go to the information, the info part of the channel all the way at the end, scroll all the way to the end of the channel, get my Gmail and just hit my Gmail up. Let me know when, where you'll be available, and we can go from there, man. Hey, I might actually open up a telephone call-in line just to make it easier because it is a little bit difficult to get the whole program I have running running sometimes and get everybody to know how to use, because you actually have to do some things on your end to connect. But it's pretty simple, but I think it would be easier just to have a call-in number. But most definitely, if you want to be involved, man, if you anytime you want to come on, man, with me, just hit me up, man. Let me know, man. I ain't got no problem with that, sharing the platform. Go to any of these other boxing channels and see how many of them people are gonna let you come on and let you share their platform without paying them, or doing something in their favor, or having some fan base that they can capitalize off of. So you can ask Caps in Full G yourself, man. I didn't ask Caps in Full G for no money. I didn't say he had to go on his channel and promote me. I don't even ask him to give those super chats. I appreciate them. But I tell the people all the time, I ain't got to donate, man. I don't, I'm not in this for money, obviously. I'm not getting no views, but I'm in this because I'm a Pacquiao fan. I like to communicate with other Pacquiao fans. I like talking about boxing. I actually want to, I'm actually going to expand further than Pacquiao at some point, once I can get everything together and fully functioning. But, for now, I enjoy just doing Pacquiao conversations. So I have no problem with sharing with anybody, man. I'm not that selfish. I'm not that egotistical. I don't even like, personally, having the camera on me. Personally, I never wanted to be no YouTube star. I actually wanted to do behind the scenes videos. I tried to switch it up at one point to just doing voiceover videos, but this whole live algorithm versus putting out videos algorithm has shown me something, and I have to go with what YouTube is giving me. So with all that long-winded conversation being said, I have no problem with sharing with anybody, man. So if y'all want to share, just use the proper channels, please, to get at me. But I'll definitely bring you on if you want to go live with me, or at some point if I can get maybe a text now number or another line, I will open up the phone lines. Or, well, that wouldn't be live, but yeah, those are the two options for the live. So just be looking out for that. Text now number may be coming, and definitely get at me on WhatsApp, or we can go live, man, at some point. J Dubber. Now there are real boxing fans that are also fanboys. Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., Manny, and Triple G. It is. I don't use those words, man. I think those words are disrespectful to fans of sports. Why do I have to be a fanboy because I like somebody more than I like somebody else? Why do I have to not know ish about boxing because I'm not into your favorite fighter? The whole argument is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I don't like using those fanboy words. I don't like using ducking. I use it sometimes in certain circumstances. But the fanboy, the pack tards and flomos, I don't use those I don't use those words. I'm smarter than that, man. I know how to talk English, proper English. I know how to use words to communicate with people. Why do I need to degrade you as a fan by using a stupid word like that? It's for lack of a better word, a stupid word like that, or calling you a fanboy because I don't like your favorite fighter, or saying you don't know ish about boxing because I don't like your favorite fighter. If you're not willing to listen to both sides of the argument, then you probably don't know nothing about boxing, because you're not willing to actually engage in a full conversation. It's not a conversation if there's only one side of the coin. It's not a conversation if it's only if there's only one person talking. A conversation is two or more people. So I would never call nobody a fanboy. I would never say that you're a flomo. I would never call you a pack tard. I never say you don't know ish about boxing simply because you don't agree with me. If you don't agree with me, well, let's have an argument. Let's talk about it. Let's be adults. Let's have a real conversation. And whoever has the best argument then at that point wins. It ain't gotta be no fanboys. It ain't gotta be nobody don't know ish about boxing. Cause we all fans of somebody. You hear me? We all fans. If you watch boxing, you're a fan of somebody. You're not watching boxing to see yourself. So, you're a fan. Everybody's a fan of somebody. So, and everybody's a fanboy. If at that point, it's that the whole argument is ridiculous. I think people, they leave logic out of talking sports and talking boxing. They leave intelligence out of talking boxing. They leave being articulate out of talking boxing. The whole reason I don't watch or indulge a lot of channels, I'm a certain age, and I'm smart enough to know if every other word coming out of your mouth is an F word or S word or a N word, then you ain't that smart. And why am I sitting up here indulging people that I don't even feel like are smarter than me? Because if you're not smarter than me, I'm not gaining anything from watching you. You feel me? So I'm trying to listen. When it comes to following boxing channels and getting boxing information and talking boxing news, I want to do it in an intelligent, articulate way, because I feel like I'm making people more educated to the sport. I'm not trying to entertain you with my cuss words and antics. I mean, I could, but that would dumb me down so much that I don't want to be a part of that or be involved with that. I don't want to take the conversation into fanboy talk. I don't want to take the conversation into pack tards and flow-mo talk. It's degrading me as a human being and my intelligence level. And I don't want to go down to the garbage can of boxing talk, man. I wanna be one of the most intelligent boxing channels. You come over here, you're getting real boxing news and real boxing talk, and we can all have an intelligent adult conversation, man. I'm not doing the fanboy flow mode pack tard talk, man. I'm not into that. To be long winded, sorry about that, man. All right, get checked. Ain't live. Get checked out for the Rona, bro. If you ain't feeling good, not a game. I'm not even gonna get into that, bro. I have my own personal opinion about what's going on, and it might differ from other people's opinions. So I'll keep my opinions as far as the whole pandemic to myself. I appreciate that. Ain't live though, man. I do certain things to try to stay healthy. But as far as the whole, I don't, it is what it is, man. Whatever happens, happens. We can't stop the creator's plan, man. Just, it just is what it is. Appreciate that. I appreciate the well wishes though, bro. J Dubber, I'm a bud. Shouldn't even have the WBO. Manny should still have it. In my opinion, okay. I'm like, what does IMO stand for? In my opinion, Bud shouldn't even have the WBO. Manny should still have it. I totally agree with you right there. I think Manny should still be the WBO. He should actually be the unified champion. But we can't live in the past. What happened, man. All we can do is move on. Similar to what Manny Pacquiao did. This is why I like Manny Pacquiao so much. And I give Pacquiao so much credit as a human, not only as a boxer or athlete, but as a human being and just an all-around good person. Manny Pacquiao could easily take the low road and just rant and rave and whine and complain about how many times he's been cheated and or been misused, or just been really misrepresented in the sport of boxing. But he don't. He always takes the high road. When bad things happen to him, he don't come back and whine and complain. He comes back stronger. He beats the best guys out there, and he cements his name. He just keeps doing legendary things within the sport. So you got to commend Manny Pacquiao for that. It's the reason I'm a Pacquiao fan, man. He does things in a different way, a different light than other athletes. other athletes would have what you're talking about as far as that WBO belt. If that was Adrian Broner, he would have. If that was Deontay Wilder, they would have been crying for the whole. It wasn't been 5 years, 4 years since Pacquiao lost that belt. You wouldn't have heard them stop talking about it, you know. But Pacquiao just moved on. He came back stronger. He's looking great, and he's trying to do something even more historical at this point. So, you know, this is the reason I like Manny Pacquiao. Dubber says, is that Tupac in the bottom right corner? Yes, Pac. I don't know who made that animation, but I found it when I was putting the whole banner together for the overlay together. I'm gonna probably make another one here pretty soon because it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, but it still looks decent enough. Yeah, but that's Pac. I got Pac. I got Mayweather next to Pac. I got Tyson. I got, of course, the two legends next to each other, Pacquiao and Ali, because I put them on the same level, man. I feel like Manny Pacquiao is the Asian version of Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali is the African American version of Manny Pacquiao. So I put them next to each other. I wanted to do a lot more, but you know, I didn't have enough time to do nothing real dynamic. Eventually, I will change it to something else. Who y'all want to see in my next overlay? Who do y'all think? Should I add somebody else? Y'all want me to take Tupac out? I gotta leave Pac in there, man. He's my favorite rapper ever. And he was a warrior. You know, I think Pac would have did well in the boxing ring. I kind of wish he would have pursued boxing. He might still be alive if he pursued boxing. He was such a fighter. You know, he could have just pursued boxing. He knew Tyson. He could have just went into boxing, man. I think that would have been awesome. An awesome way for him to reinvent himself too. Even though he came out and then just dominated the whole rap world, I feel like Pac would have made a good boxer though. Who y'all think Pac would have beat at 147? I think he said he weighed like 150, so he would have fought at 147. Who y'all think Pac would have beat at 147 back in the 90s, man? Cause dang, who was fighting in the 90s at 147? Who was the superstar in the 90s? I guess it was did Roy Jones start at 147? I think he would have probably been campaigning at 147 back in the late, back in like 90s in that era. White Tiger, if Pac caught using juice as cheating, a lot of people in this country, yeah, you already said that one, bro. You ain't gotta repeat it, man. I'm gonna get your comment, bro. I get everybody's comments, White Tiger. But I appreciate you, brother. Mac D, can't wait for this fight. Pat, hit the like button. Yeah. We got 50 people in here right now. I appreciate everybody for coming through. But can y'all please try to get me to 40 likes, man? Pacquiao that like button for me. If you're a Crawford fan, well, then turn around and run from it. If you're a Spence fan, knee it and elbow it and headbutt it. If you're a Tyson fan, you can try to bite the screen if you want to. I don't care. Just let me know y'all ain't here. Then drop me a comment. That way I can shout your name out and, acknowledge you for coming in and joining the conversation. I do appreciate it. Mac D, guarantee $1 million buy for this fight. I do think it would do somewhere close to $1 million, maybe 700,000, 800,000, depending on how much. The problem is, if they're planning on doing this May 15th, they ain't gonna have a lot of time to promote this fight. Let alone, I think that's why Pacquiao's already in training and he's already preparing for this fight, is because this might be a something that gets announced on the spur. Although they are supposed to be announcing it this week. If you didn't tune in earlier, you can go back and rewatch it from the beginning. The news is, the late breaking news is that Bob Arum said he will be letting us all know whether the fight is going to happen by the end of the week. So, based on that, I do feel like this fight will do well on pay-per-view. So, hopefully we'll get our answer by the end of the week. Saudi? Are you saying is Saudi a Arab or a Islamic state? I believe Saudi Arabia is Saudi Arabia is an Islamic state, and I don't think they can do it in those Islamic where the law is Islamic, because I think it's against the law for them to put on a fight in an Islamic state. Don't 100% quote me on that, but I believe that is the rule. In like Medina, Mecca, Saudi Arabia, I don't think they can put on fights because of the Islamic law. PAC says Bangkok. It would be interesting if they can do it over there, man. I think it would completely sell out depending on where they put it at. If they can do it somewhere in Asia, I do feel like it would completely sell out, and it would. I don't ever remember hearing about a Pacquiao fight happening in or near the Philippines, so it would be really interesting to see how that would turn out. Adam M, this fight gonna be in Hawaii on top of a volcano. It's gonna be an eruption. Is that what you're saying? Orlito, how old are you? That is the question, my friend. I'll say this. A lot of people say, and because I am dark skinned, you know, it doesn't really look like I've aged that much. Most of my friends, when they see me and then they compare themselves to me, they'll be like, man, you ain't aged at all. I feel it sometimes as far as my body, but, you know, I still feel good. I don't really do a lot. I don't have a lot of bad habits. Everybody has bad habits, but I don't have a lot of bad habits. Kind of got those in check a few years ago. But as far as just telling people how old I actually am, I'm not going to do that. It might be a young lady out there that might want, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't want, you know, hurt my chances again with her. You feel me? So we're going to keep it to ourselves. If you want to holler at Cardinal Red, come on through, holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Go on, holler at me, girl, if you out there. Come through, holler at your boy. Man, let's move on though, man. Just a little bit to the point of a job. I am a good friend and a good. Just a little bit to the point of a job. I am a good friend and a good. I don't know what you mean by that, D Hunt, man. What you mean by that? You gotta elaborate a little bit more, bro. I appreciate you for coming through, though, D Hunt. What's good with ya? Most avoided boxer of all time, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, pound for pound #1. What's good with you, Demetrius Andrade? I wonder if that's the real one. Boo Boo, what's cracking with you, bro? Appreciate you for coming through. Pack out that like button for me. Subscribe. I hope you are. You might already be, but if you ain't, bro, you know, go on, subscribe for your boy. Bad Tito, Pac shooting for undisputed. I feel like I agree with that, man. Bobby Rick, Pac going for undisputed. Welterweight champion of the world, then retire. I think that I feel the same way. I feel like that's his plan, and you know, I think he's gonna stick to it. Bobby Rick, what's good, Bobby Rick? Pac wants Spence when the fans can come fully in. I think that's. I agree with you. I think that's what is holding up the Spence fight, and I think that's really one of the reasons he don't want to fight. Well, he's only offering Terence Crawford 60-40 because he wants the bigger piece of the pie. He knows there's possibly going to be a smaller pot, so he would still want the bigger piece of the pie. Bad Tito, Manny beats Earl Spence Jr. and Bud. Excuse me. He is the TBE. I agree with you, man. I already feel like he's the TBE over Mayweather. But, you know, I think it would just solidify all of his accomplishments. I think because of that 8 divisions that Pacquiao is one of the best fighters ever in the world based off that. Ain't live. Emmanuel Mara, what's good with you, man? Your message was retracted, bro. If you put a curse word in there, it ain't gonna let it come through, man. Or a link, it ain't gonna let it come through. But appreciate you for coming through, Manuel Mara. Ain't live. What's good, big bro? Feel better, bro. Oh, definitely, man. Definitely, man. I've been taking. That's why I've been sipping this whole time. Been sipping on some tea, mixed with some other things in there to make you feel better. So hopefully whatever's bothering me will be gone pretty soon. Bon QQ. Earl Spence used to have dreadlocks. He got, man, he got locks before he got respect. You silly. What if Manny slapped a lot of people on his birthday? Hey, I don't think if Manny Pacquiao smack you, I don't think too many people gonna be trying to smack him back. So especially not nobody his size. Orlito, you silly, man. You smacking talk. Orlito, Pac Thurman rematch. Do you think guy can pull off this time if that happens? Now I think Pacquiao beats him again. Personally, I think Pacquiao would actually knock him out this time. I don't think he would leave it up to going 12 rounds with Thurman again. I think he would go for the knockout, which might be a little bit more dangerous for him to try to go for the knockout. But I think he's got Thurman's timing and style down, so I don't think it would be as dangerous as the first fight was. Bon QQ, Floyd will still need IV to slap them. Alright, Holy Inferno, what's good with you, bro? What's up, yo? What's good, Inferno? Appreciate you for coming through. Man, it's always good to see reoccurring names within the chat, man. Lets me know what I'm doing. People enjoy it, man. It's almost been 2 hours, man. I'm going to get through this chat, talk about Broner a little bit, and then I'm going to get out of here, bro. I wouldn't even expect to stay on here for an hour. It's been almost 2 hours. Bobby Rick, can Mayweather read Bon Q? Mayweather is scared of water. Hey, man, Mayweather don't want to get back in the ring. He know what's up, man. Y'all leave Mayweather alone, man. Maybe if we as fans leave him alone, if Pacquiao do beat both of these guys, he'll actually give Pacquiao a chance. Maybe let's all go to Mayweather's social media and give him words of encouragement. Let's tell him he can read good, and every time he has a spelling test, he wins. He gets 100%. He doesn't beat the ice to Mayweather. Maybe he'll give Pacquiao another shot. We just got to be nice to him, because we all know he can't read the comments anyway. Y'all keep leaving them comments. Y'all need to send him either voicemails or video chats. Don't send him no messages, man. Y'all messing up. That's why he don't want to give him a rematch. He don't know we want the fight to happen because he can't read you. He can't read your message, man. You got to send him a voicemail or a video chat. Just remember that. Voicemail or video chat when you trying to get Mayweather to get Pacquiao a rematch. I just... Alright, y'all stupid, man. I didn't start that conversation. Y'all did. Bon QQ, Floyd is fluent in Spanish. Bobby Rick, too late. You are a star, bro. Man, I doubt it, man. I doubt it. I don't know about star. You guys make me feel like a superstar, man. I appreciate y'all, man. The people I do see every stream, and the new people coming in, but definitely the people I see every stream. Y'all do make me feel like what I do makes some type of a difference, man. Hopefully y'all stick with me past Pacquiao, the end of Pacquiao's career, man. Stick around, bro. We're going to have some fun things going on here. Manuel Amara, good to see you dropped another comment, bro. Spence versus Crawford is a real matchup, but this is two great comes up to purse against an imitable and I don't know. And again, Pacquiao, they have all the advantages. Shame. I think you were trying to say formidable, but it says imitable. But it's all good, bro. I got the gist of what you tried to say. Bon Adrian Broner is the son of of Rick Ross. He might be, man. Hey, Broner is the most hood dude ever in boxing. He might be more hood than Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's definitely crazier than Adrian Broner. But Adrian Broner might be the most ghetto-fied boxer in the history of boxing. I like Broner, man. I like Broner's personality. I can hang out with Broner, man. That's one boxer I do think. If I ever met him in person, we can go kick it, man. I will say this: Broner has the scariest looking feet I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know what elephant or stampede of buffaloes ran over this man's toes, but that is horrible. He needs a foot amputation immediately. That's why y'all think he's playing in the ring, man. Y'all think he's doing that whole defensive stance because, that's his style. No, that's because his toenails will bust through his boxing shoes if he moves any faster than that, man. Y'all ever seen this man's feet? Dude, believe me, his toenails will chew through the front of some boxing shoes if he moves any quicker in the boxing ring. That's the reason why he has to go and fight slow. Salute and shout out to AB, man. I like AB. Salute AB, man. All right, man. A couple of y'all dropping stuff in the chat that's not quite allowed, but I see it, but everybody can't see it. Bobby Rick, I only have $13. Hey, you know what? He did. You know what? Let me say this, man. Let's go on and get into the Broner talk. I feel sorry for AB and everything that he's been through. A lot of it is self-imposed. You shouldn't be blowing through 40, 50, $60 million in 2 years. He should have been a whole lot more. He should have had a better plan with his money. He really shouldn't have been blowing through money in that way. If that man really only had $13 in his bank account, and he took that fight, and he struggled and strived, he lost all that weight, and he went in there and did his job. He said he flipped that 13 to 13 million. I can't do nothing but salute that man. He's a hustler. He from the hood. He took an awful situation, which a lot of people would have gave up and, might have, did something bad to themselves. He took a horrible situation and he flipped it, man. So, salute Broner just for, being able to provide for his kids and his family, man. All jokes aside, that's what's most important at the end of the day. I don't want to see nobody go, hungry or nothing, So, salute Broner for being able to flip his situation. As far as that fight goes, listen. You can call that fight how you want to. I watched the whole fight. Broner started extremely slow. But I will say this. The guy he was fighting, he doesn't pack a punch. And the punches he was throwing, a lot of that stuff was just hitting Broner in the arms. So you really couldn't score those blows. In the same fashion, a lot of those Mayweather punches were hitting Pacquiao in the arms. He wasn't really scoring at all when he fought Pacquiao, where Broner was actually scoring. You can tell he was scoring because you could just look at the guy's face and see that he was scoring. He was scoring hard shots. He was scoring the more notable shots, the more scorable shots. And that's where boxing becomes controversial, because you can't always give the victory to the guy who threw the most punches, because he might have thrown a bunch of punches, but he missed the majority of them. Where you can tell the punches that Adrian Broner was landing, they were landing and they were landing hard, because you can just look at dude's face and see that they were landing and landing hard. He cut him over both eyes, and he had his face lumped up like a pumpkin. So whether you feel like Broner won enough rounds to win the fight, it could be argued, but I think because dude lost that one round, he lost that point in that one round, is what gave Broner that fight. I think the fight was pretty much even, and then the fact that he lost that point gave Broner the fight. And I think even the guy he was fighting realized that when they interviewed him, because he wasn't arguing that. He said it himself, I should have done more, and I kind of gave him the fight. So, you know, if you feel like Broner doesn't deserve that victory, I'm not going to argue with you about it, but I do feel like that point that got taken away from Lil Buddy is what gave Broner the victory. I feel like he won based off that point, and the fact that he landed the harder shots in the fight. Orlito, do you want to be addressed a Pac-Tard or a Pac-Roid? You know, it is what it is, man. I laugh at that stuff because I know it ain't true. I know what I know about boxing is real. You know, I know about boxing. I know me being a fan of a fighter or a fan of a basketball player or a fan of anything doesn't make me a fanboy or whatever people want to call it, because, hey, their opinions. If they got more than 5,000 subscribers, then I'll pay attention to their fans. If they don't, you know, who cares at the end of the day? Their opinion really means nothing to me. Born Lucky, I would give you 100 likes. They limit me. That's all good, bro. I appreciate the one I get from people, man. You know, as long as people, when they do come in, they do hit the like button. Just, you know, so we get shared out to more people, and you know, the community grows. Because eventually everybody can shine on here at some point, man. We could always be everybody's channel if y'all wanted to be. But, you know, it just is what it is. I appreciate the one you do give me, bro. And if you got another account, just leave out, go into your other account, and smash it again. Culture Mix, what's up, fam? What's good, Culture Mix, bro? Always good to see you, man. Been following for a long time. You know, I follow a lot of what he does on Facebook and his YouTube channel. He does a lot of stuff as far as the black culture is concerned, man. So y'all go support Culture Mix, man. If you enjoy music, you know, dancing, culture based content, you know, he does a lot of that. And he talks about boxing too. So y'all go check out Culture Mix, man. Support his channel. Get his subs up and his views up, man. So he'll put out more content for himself and the rest of the community. Orlito, Pac versus Rios was in China, bro. Okay, well, I thought that fight was overseas. I didn't know if it was I couldn't remember exactly where it was at. I thought it was actually in the Middle East for a second there. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it was at. I'm pretty sure you're right about that. Ain't live. Akon. Joshua Clottey would be more, you know, relevant to the situation of boxing, but Akon, you got me, Akon, if you want to. He might not like it. He might give me a copyright strike or something. Trying to say I'm trying to steal his likeness. Y'all silly, man. Don Cheadle, you know, I've been called worse. Don Cheadle, I've been called Cheadle. Let's see, Joshua Clottey, Terence Bud Crawford. Even though I think my hairline's a little bit, I think my fade's a little bit crispier than Crawford's is. But you know, it is what it is. Joshua Clottey, see somebody hit me with Joshua Clottey there. Renz was good with you, bro. Pacquiao would be considered the greatest of all time if he beats Crawford and Spence in his last two fights. Completely agree with you there, Renz. Will you read my comment, bro? I did, bro. I got you. Man, I got to get through all the comments, bro. You know, I try to make sure I get to everybody's. It just takes some time. You know, there's a lot of comments to come in. Luckily, you know, it could just be one. It could just be me and you and her. Luckily, you know, we're getting a lot of comments, a lot of questions. So, Born Lucky says LOL. Well, can Floyd count? He obviously can count, man. He be broke right there. Pat, up to 10 counts. Y'all silly, man. I was skipping through that. He has 10 he has 10 fingers to help him count. Bad Tito, everybody know I beat that boy. I did it. I'm surprised he didn't say that in the interview. He was cussing like an MF though. I was surprised he didn't say that in the interview, but he made that interview really interesting to watch, man. And I agree with him, man. For Adrian Broner to be great, you gotta keep him in the boxing ring, man. You can't give him periods of inactivity, or he gonna start acting foolish and real ghetto, man. So you gotta keep that man's mind occupied with nothing but boxing. And I think he did. I actually feel like he did well in that fight, man. They can take nothing away from Broner. He didn't do excellent. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. I do feel like he did enough to win the fight. Or little buddy did too little and gave Broner the fight, basically. So I ain't no Adrian Broner hater. You know, I might not agree with everything that Broner does. I might not agree with his friendships with Mayweather, but I like Broner as a human being, man. So I never have nothing bad really to say about the man. You know, he ain't never smacked me or my mama, so I ain't got no problems with him. And he's hood, man. You know, I like real people. I feel like he's a real person, man. I don't feel like you can tell he's a real person because he lost all that money. He's still acting exactly the same. He just don't got the money to throw around no more. So, you know, I ain't got no hate toward Broner. Salute Broner, man. I hope he gets his life together. I hope he gets a great fight. He did say he was going back down to 140. So I feel like he got a lot of competition right now down there at 140. So I think we might end up getting some great fights out of Broner to close his career out. Not saying he gonna win all of them, but we might get some good fights from Broner to end his career. Broner needs some baby. His skin is too. He needs some motor oil for them feet, man. I'm telling you, boy, them feet look like engine parts. They look like piston pumps. His toes look like pistons. Oh, man, Maya Yamar says, Arlito said, what does gang means? Gang, if you real about yours, I don't know how I could define it to you, but basically you about that life, man. Don't play with me, because I ain't gonna play with you. You probably gonna end up on the wrong side of this argument. You come playing with me. So that's what gang means. To not cuss. You come around here playing, it's gonna be your A. Broner got that what did he say? Jabila Bird? I don't know who that is. Recall Arlito says, is Teofimo an undisputed or unified champ? Everybody's saying there's one more belt out there. I don't know if it's an actual belt or a ring magazine belt. I don't really, you know, count those ring magazine belts. But I think there's a belt that what's his name? That Gervonta Davis holds, which would make Teofimo the full unified champion. I'm not 100% sure yet. But you know, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. Some people say he's unified. Some people say he's disputed. So, I don't know. Born Lucky, Bradley retired after he saw Manny Blood versus Horn. He's scared. Bradley definitely don't want no more Pacquiao. I don't even want to see that fight again. He beat him 3 times, so nothing else really to accomplish versus Timothy Bradley. Hold on, I will say this though. I like Bradley too. I don't like what he's been saying as of late, but I was a Bradley fan when Bradley was fighting. I'm a fan of his lifestyle, the way he lives his life. You know, a lot of people don't know this about Bradley. I don't think a lot of people know is that he's a vegan. He don't eat meat. He got that big on a vegan diet, which I don't know how he accomplished. I need to go back and study what he did to get that big on a vegan diet. But, you know, that's really impressive to be on a vegan diet and get as swole up as he was for that last Pacquiao fight. I don't know if y'all saw his physique for that last Pacquiao fight, but it was ridiculous. And to do that on a vegan diet is some people say it's impossible, but he proved that it is possible and he pulled it off. So I respect Bradley when it comes to working out and his diet and stuff. His opinion sometimes gets on my nerves, though. Lopez is undisputed champ. Okay. I guess there is no more belts out there. Some people say there's another belt out there. Some people say there isn't. I've never looked into it, so I don't know 100% sure. But if you look at all them belts he got wrapped around him, you would say, hey, he might as well be. He got like 8 belts. So it is what it is. All right, man. I think we getting to the end of it here. Got 30 people in the chat, man. If you ain't smashed that Pacquiao, if you haven't Pacquiao that like button for me, go ahead and smash it. You know, Pacquiao it for me. Hook it, uppercut it, jab it, whatever you got to do. If you're a Spence fan, you can headbutt it and elbow it and kick it. If you're a Crawford fan, just run from it, you know. Let me know y'all in here, man. And drop me a comment so I can shout you out real fast. And I'm getting out of here, man. It's been 2 hours. I think y'all got the gist of the news for the day, man. And we enjoyed each other's company. I gotta go find something to eat and finish this the rest of this stuff up, man, so I can feel a little bit better tomorrow. Bond Q says Tavern Farmer called Gervonta Davis a city slicker, and he never milked a cow or handled the chickens in the coop. I like Bradley. He took too much punishment. Smart to give up. Manny Blood wake up. Definitely, he did take a lot of punishment in those 3 fights, man. A lot of punishment. But I think with the fight that ended his career, started the ending to his career, if you never watched it, you need to go back and watch it, was the Ruslan Provodnikov fight. Because I think that fight actually ended Ruslan's career too. Was a big Ruslan fan. Still am, like Ruslan Provodnikov. Too bad he's not fighting no more. But definitely, I think that the Ruslan Provodnikov fight is what started the beginning of the end for Timothy Bradley. It was a heck of a fight, man. If you've never seen that fight and you like blood and big punches, watch that Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan Provodnikov fight, because that was one of the craziest punching fights I've ever seen. I was surprised Timothy Bradley didn't get knocked out a couple of times the way Ruslan was teeing off on him. But then, you know, Tim started coming back and started teeing off on Ruslan. It was crazy. I still feel like Ruslan won that fight because I think they gave the nod to Bradley, if I can remember correctly. But I need to go back and watch it again myself. But it was an amazing fight, man. If you really, really like hard punching fights, that's one of the best fights you can watch. Was Ruslan Provodnikov versus Timothy Bradley. Born Lucky says, good night, bro. About to get out of here, man, myself. Manuel Mara says, what is the latest about Tank Davis? Is he a suspect on alleged hit and run incident after his bout? I don't know. From what I read the other day, they said that he was that they wasn't pursuing any charges. So I'm guessing they're probably just going to sue him civically. You know, it's going to be a civil suit, and he'll probably end up paying them, a large amount of money in it just to make it go away. I don't think he killed anybody. I don't think anybody was seriously injured. But you know, in every car accident that there's a lawsuit, and you know, the ambulance chasers get involved, and then everybody gets sued. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna get some good money out of that from Gervonta Davis. All right, man. I'm about to get out of here. We got 31 people still in the chat, man. Can y'all give me the 40 likes before I bounce, man? I give it one more minute, see if anybody else drops any new questions in the chat before I dip, and then I'm gonna get ready to skidato. Don King looks like Dracula. I completely agree with that, man. Don King looks horrible, man. He did not age well at all. PAC versus Canelo, tight now. I would love to see that fight, man. Are we actually gonna get that one? I don't know, man. I would love to see that fight, though. I think the weights are way too far off at this point for it to actually happen. Right now, you know, like I said, I don't see it happening, bro. I think the weights are too far off. Oh, man, y'all got me to 40. Salute. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all, man, for coming through. Class session. Appreciate you, PAC, man. Man, you gotta definitely come on, PAC. If you, how can we get in contact with each other, man? Join the WhatsApp group, bro. I'm definitely gonna make you a moderator, man, over the channel, man, in the chat. And I want to get you on. I want to have you on, bro. I appreciate you. You always been the number one guy, man. You and Caps and Full G, man. Both of you guys are like two of the biggest supporters out there. Not to take away from nobody else who comes through, but these two guys have been around for a long time, man. And they always have done great things, man, for as far as shouting the channel out and helping me move forward and keeping me motivated to keep doing this. So appreciate you, PAC, man, and Caps and Full G, man. But definitely, bro, if there's any way we can get in contact with each other, whether it's just you dropping a short comment I can play for everybody, or a short quick video I can play for her, I definitely would like to have you on. I can't. My girlfriend thinks I'll be talking to other girls. We'll work something else out behind the scenes, man. Hit me up on hit my Gmail up, man. Holler at me on Facebook or WhatsApp, bro. I definitely would like to just talk to you behind the scenes, man. Just see who you are, bro. Meeting, talk in person for real. But definitely, man. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. If you ain't smashed that like button for me, Pacquiao right now, man. I give y'all one more minute. I'm gonna switch back to the music. Let y'all jam out, and see if y'all give me the 45 likes. I'll let that roll for about a minute, and then I'm gonna end the stream, man. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. It's your boy Cardinal Red. It's chow time, son.
Louisville, home of the best scrapper, also home of the best rapper. Flow dapper, here's another chapter. Ride through, attack you, ride away your laughter. This is what I'm after, blowing on that rapper. Purple Dro, keep a bunch to blow. I don't serve it though, murder flow. If it goes down, I'm the first to know. Y'all niggas late, like the Conan show. Overdose, overload, sharp flow, leave him with the open throat. Lewis Keys, cool as Nova Scotia snow. Puff a blunt, poke a hole, nigga, you supposed to know. Lewis Keys, blowing blunts on the open road. Fuck a cop, fuck a speed limit, drive overdose. Keep a bad bitch, hips wide like Oprah's nose. And you know that I'm a fool, my freestyle's wet, I'm floating in the pool. You should pay your tuition, you're going to my school. Principal keys, you niggas getting held back. Fuck them little sacks, you can have your bread back. No refund, well here the G's come. Hit your ass up, leave you with your fucking head crack.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. That's where I'm from, player, how about you? I'm from the city where the hate is familiar. I'm from the city where the haters will kill ya. I'm from the city where they like to gamble. Dice game, get robbed, niggas to scramble. Head for the hills, nigga, duck and dive. No bullshit, no shuck and jive. I know a lot of guys got shot and died. A lot of good guys didn't see 25. Recognize it's a blessing being alive. Heading to the park, I'm on the passenger side. Like
Louisville, Kentucky, 502. Louisville, Kentucky, 502.
Every night's game set. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like the playoff. We ballin' like game set. Game set. Every day the Super Bowl. Every night's game set. I walk in with my homie. Walk out with your baby mama's home key. I can tell she want it. Fat booty, so you know a nigga